really insistent that we give an altar call in which we ask everyone to be quiet, everyone to bow their head, and ask, is this the day that you will make a change, that you'll invite Jesus in your heart? You need prayer. Raise your hand. And then several raise their hand every week.
And so what happens? What happens when they're ready to get off the street?
Yeah, well, first, I said, now I'm going to ask you to do something very courageous. You've raised your hand, but now I want you to come up here in front and sit in a chair in front of me. And we always have 4 to 8 or whatever. And they come up and they sit in the chair, and the Spirit of the Lord touches them really double heavy. Most of them cry, and I have a counselor work with each one. And then I shut the whole coffee house down as far as feeding and the clothes is concerned. And I ask all the volunteers to move around the homeless and to meet a friend and talk to them about Jesus. So we have like those 8 in the front getting prayer for, and then we have different ones that didn't come up getting prayer. So at that point of time in the coffee house, it's very wow. The conviction of God is very strong. The love of God is very strong. It's a marvelous thing to witness and see. Well, then as the workers are both down around the tables and up in front of the chairs, they're talking to the people individually. They're able to, like if it's men, they ask them, are you living in the street? And they'll say yes. And then we're so happy for the Lord's Ranch and the director, Janice Similai. So if anyone there says we want off the street and we want rehab and we want to follow God, then the Lord's Ranch, it comes down with a big van every Friday with men to help us with security and to evangelize. And if they want that change, they can just go with the van. Right up 40 miles north to a beautiful place where there's animals and fresh air and Bible study every day, clean clothes, food 3 times a day. Yeah. And the truth is, not every single one we send up there stays. But even when half of them stay, you're still a win-win. And the others that say they want to go back down to the street, they've got that in the back of their mind. There is a place I can go. And often then they make the second choice. And they stay. So we're so thankful for the Lord's Ranch. And that's a good solution to the men. We also have women that are weeping. And their condition in the streets of Spokane are even worse. I mean, they're being used by the men in the street. They have to sell their body to get money, to get food. Some of them are traffic, and they have to obey their boss, whoever's got them. And we have these women too. And they weep before the Lord, and they cry out to us, and they tell us their situation. I had a person tell me this week, and it broke my heart. They said, oh, well, those people are just lazy. No. Each one of them have a story, and their story will break your heart. And they're living in great trauma. No dad, no home, parents alcoholics, parents drug addicts, no one to take care of them, even from young age on drugs. Their stories are just heartbreaking. And the women's stories are especially heartbreaking to me. And excuse me while I tell you that it's very, very heartbreaking because we have no place to send the women. So after they've prayed and really met God for 2 hours at the coffee house, then they have to walk out the door, and the van takes them back down to that street where they were laying, and it's hell. Well, I can testify that some of them have made it, even without going to rehab. We've had Many make it and go to the church where our location is, and others that come back every week. And after coming to the coffee house like their church, they have pulled themselves through. They look tremendously better from the first time we met them till 3 months later. Yeah, but we have no rehab for them. And you say, Linda, are there no women's rehab? I'm telling you just the raw truth. Yes. There's the Union Gospel Mission. They have a good rehab. And Teen Challenge has a good rehab. And the Dream Center has a good rehab. And Salvation Army has a good rehab. Well, you say, then what's the problem? Well, the problem is there's such a long distance between where we've picked them up from laying in the street on drugs, brought them to the coffee house. Now they're going to choose a new life. So they still got drugs in their vein. They're not good enough.
What do you mean?
They're not good enough to go to these good Christian rehabs.
So
They will not take them unless they've been drug-free for such a long time.
Okay.
They can't smoke. They can't use their phone. They have to have recommendations. They have to have an ID, which is good. I'm for it all. But our kids that just come in that night to our coffee house, they don't have that. Well, you actually need a transition place, or we need a down-trapping place. Well, yes, there is a down-trapping place in Spokane, but the report I get from everyone is it's full of drug addicts. I mean, they don't get any help there. Drugs is everywhere in that place. They've got to go to a place where they can downtrap where it's clean. We desperately need this place. And we have thought that we have found it this time, that time, through that time. But no, none of them ever worked.
So it needs to be a unique place where people can come while they're detoxing from the drugs, but where they won't be able to get more drugs while they're there, and where they can get some help getting ID. And what else would they need to get to be able to get into one of these other places? They need ID. They need to be drug free. Is there anything else?
Well, they're not going to be able to smoke, but I mean, that's not so bad. Yeah, just a few things like that. Recommendation.
So somebody who's good at getting people free of addictions would need to run a place like this and have the skills to know how to work with these people and keep them safe from the inflow of.
Keep them safe from their if they've been trafficked. Keep them safe from the men that have been using them and the temptations that are in the street. And it's a transition house, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, if we could get a transition house, as soon as they go through it, now they're free of drugs. Now we help them get ID. Now we can recommend them. Then they could fit into the Dream Center or into the Union Gospel Mission or to other places like that.